I am recording technically now, but it doesn't matter.
Good.
We're live. I mean, we're not live.
I'm so nervous now.
Yeah.
Oh, give me 1 second. Hey, Battlestar Galactic Girl. Thanks for the 200 bits. Thanks for hopping on the Doo-Choo train.
Thanks for hopping on the Doo-Choo train.
You're going to have to add in some of those little graphics and bells and things.
I'm just imagining like a Thomas the Tank Engine with my face on it in the front.
It just
Max, make that happen.
comes across the screen. Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god.
Welcome to Tablenauts. My name is Max. Today I'm joined
Doolin.
by Doolin and Jash, our long lost member.
What?
Also Michelle and Billie from Second Star to the left. Link in the description. Please check out their channel. Today, this is the most unfair draft that I've ever done. This is a small box games draft. And if you don't know, Michelle and Billie, Michelle in particular, are very into small box games, button shy particularly. And Jash moved to Japan, so by nature, by no choice of his own, force alone, he had to be into small box games. I'm very unqualified to be here, but I was asked to be here. I have chosen my games, and if they get stolen, I will be in trouble and figuring it out one step at a time as Draco walks across the
Hi,
street.
Draco.
Well,
So-
it's officially a Tablenauts video.
Yeah,
We've
Michelle
got-
Billy, we're really happy to have you too.
Oh yeah, I guess we should say that.
Finally.
We are very happy to have you here.
Oh, yeah.
Where can
super
they-
happy to be here.
Yeah, where can they find you guys?
We're over on YouTube at Second Star to the left, and you can find us doing all kinds of silliness like this, and reviews and lists, and anything else we think is fun about board games and think you might think is fun about board games.
Board games are fun.
I've heard that. That is most of my review. Board games are fun. This
What
one's good
is
because it's fun.
Same. We've got 5 different categories that we're going to be drafting from today. So we've each chosen small box games to fit these categories. Of course, it's going to be like a snake draft. So you can see the draft order in the bottom left of the screen. Michelle, then Billie, then Doolin, then Jash, then Max. And it's going to snake around. So I'll have last pick first round, first pick second round. The rounds are number 1, 2-player only games. These are 2-player specific games, not games that you think play well at 2. Small box.
These were games to pee
Big
on.
game. Oh my god.
I need to change my answer.
Our second category is small box big game, which is kind of up for interpretation. But what we mean by this is that these are all small box games, but this category in particular has games that pack a lot of punch or have a lot going for them. Number 3 is specifically card games. So the only components are cards. It could be anything that uses cards, a card game. Number 4 is a thematic small box game, something that gives you a nice thematic experience. And then number 5 is just kind of a catch-all category that we've titled free for all, essentially meaning you can pick anything and everything you want that fits into this category if you did not have a chance to pick it already. Michelle, you are number 1. You said that you were lucky to draft one because Billie was apparently going to hate draft you with her first pick.
She absolutely was. She was going to steal away from me probably my favorite 2-player game.
Oh,
Never
wow.
mind small box or big box. And that is Botnik, which
Okay.
is published by Space Cowboys, and I believe it's designed by Sebastian Pachon. So you're saving the world by building a machine that makes fruit and vegetables. I don't know, whatever. The theme is, it's there, right? But basically you're connecting these tubes by laying down tiles. But in the middle of the board is that little picture right there is a registry, and you can't get your tile in one move. You have to put it on the board and then find a way to release it from the board. And if you're mean, which occasionally we are, that means you can make the other person's tiles release when they don't want them, and you have to place them. And anything that's not connected at the end doesn't score. So if you forced somebody to put all these tiles on their board and they can't use them, no points for them. So
Wow.
love this game. It's super quick, like 15 minutes tops.
It's
Hardly
pretty.
any setup. Art is phenomenal, except the cover's a little weird. But
It is strange, but I dig it. Like, it's cool.
yeah, but it's super fun to play, and the
You
draft
have
is really cool.
A full review on this on your channel.
I
yeah.
do. It was one of our first reviews, so it has some
remember.
really clever special effects.
All right, Billie. What do you
Let's
have
go,
for us
Billie.
with your second pick or your first pick, the second pick of the draft?
This is the game that I have the most wins in.
Oh,
Ooh.
you know,
I have never lost at this game when playing against her. It is Jaipur.
Oh, there we go. Straight into
Oh,
it.
wow. Okay.
No,
Seriously?
I have never played.
Yeah, me neither.
Never lost.
wow. Okay, so did we put that video up where we talked about? Yeah, we did.
I think I've talked about it a few times.
Yeah, I didn't try this one because I didn't like the art. That's pretty shallow,
Yeah.
but that was our original reason. But once we did try it, super fun.
It's a
I don't
really
blame
good game. It's a good game because it's
What is
fun.
this?
I don't know. Why are there all these
Whoa,
random
What is it
things?
like?
yeah.
It's in space?
Jaipur. I want
That was
Jaipur.
much more different than the way the cover looked.
Space.
I want to go to space.
I'm gonna send you to space. Keep saying I lose every game. It's like a set collection and market game, right? So those chips on the side you get for fulfilling your set collection. So you're kind of taking these little items to the market. You know, silver, gold, rubies, they're worth more than leather and fabric. So you're collecting them, but you're collecting them by pulling the cards from the middle in kind of a draft. It's more of a card trade because you're trading something from your hand. So it's very restrictive because you can only have 5 cards. So it's really hard to get a set of 4 if you can't try to save other things at the same time.
Okay.
So you kind of
I
push
don't know. I
them
don't
up a
have that
little
much
bit.
trouble with it.
Oh my god!
God, you.
This one's on BGA too. If you're gonna play it on BGA, it's probably best to play it live if you can and not async because it takes forever async and it's supposed to be a quick game, so
Right.
you miss the back and forth.
We'll have to try that one out. I've heard many good things about it. It's like
And
considered.
if you don't like
one
the
of
art, apparently
best.
there's a space one out there somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I want
I'm
the
not sure
space
what
Space
that was
Jaipur.
about.
Do you think they have space camels? Because there are a lot of camels in this game.
Ooh,
It does say. I mean, it's
Ooh.
Jaipur in space. I have no
one
idea.
would only hope.
That makes me really want a space-themed camel up.
Ooh, camel
I mean,
way up.
Just camels, but they have those space helmets on.
Way up. All right. No, that's your choice, Doolin. Let's hear what your choice for a 2-player small box game is.
All right, I hate to draft this early
Don't do it.
because I feel like
Yeah,
Max
it is.
probably has this on his list.
I know what it is.
But
Dixie train.
I don't have a whole lot of or play a lot of strictly 2-player games.
I know what this is.
So my choices were limited to about 3. So I'm picking the best one out of those 3, which is Air, Land, and Sea Critters at War.
Oh, now
Oh,
that
I
I
thought you were gonna go
nice.
for it.
Yeah,
now
no,
I
this
thought you
is
were gonna pick.
this is a fantastic game with an even with just an incredible theme. They redid the base Air, Land, and Sea, and which is already really, really great. If you want the best review on that, I think go to who is it? It's the British people that are awesome.
I know who you're talking about.
I mean, everyone should, and I'm just forgetting their name. And Max
Shut up and
is
sit down.
shut up
Yeah,
and sit
that's what I
down.
was
Yeah, they
thinking.
have a really
British
great.
people who are awesome.
Yeah. No, they have
Queen
a great
Elizabeth?
review on the base game, but it's basically a war game in 3 fronts. But the game becomes way better than just that by giving us this pull back mechanic where you got to decide at what point is the other person going to clearly win and I'm going to retreat and give them the least amount of points, or how can I sort of not overplay my hand because I think I'm going to win so that I can make this last as long as possible and get the most points. I just think it's really well done. The retreat mechanic is just really, really interesting. I don't know a lot of games that do that kind of a thing. And then the Critters at War theme is just really, really cute. So if you're interested in it, I think it's very, very cheap. And it's also fairly small. I would definitely consider this a small box game.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely a small box game. The reason I'm reaching over here is because it's in my coal pile. But yeah, I mean, this is Airland
Yeah.
and Sea Critters at War. Doolin, you want to
we-
buy it from me?
Maybe.
We passed on this until it got the Critters at War.
Us
version.
as well. Us
then
as
we were
well.
like,
We
yeah,
had
let's do that.
no real interest in the normal Airland and Sea.
Right. Max, you said you were reaching for your coal pile. Is that calyx shelf behind you?
All right, Jash. Since you got jokes, what's your 2-player pick, my friend?
It might be a game you've heard of. It's called Magic the Gathering. No, just kidding.
I was like, wow,
wait.
we're gonna
Is
have
your
Mox.
collection a small box? Because I've seen some Magic the Gathering.
That's
Yeah.
true. You know,
No. Small
Collections that
box.
take up entire rooms.
my collection is like a deck box, but that's not my actual. My actual one is Hive Pocket.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
Oh,
here.
nice.
That's,
That's
Yeah.
not a small box. That's a small bag.
That's true. It's a small bag.
That's true. That's true.
Guess I'm gonna have to pick something else.
got him.
I got this game from Max last year.
Oh, that's right.
I guess 2 years ago, technically for Christmas. It is a abstract strategy game. You got all these different bugs. Where's my camera? There it is. And they all have different abilities. And your goal is to use the bugs and place them in a way to where you can completely surround the enemy's queen. So it's pretty easy to learn, easy to teach. Like 10-minute rounds at the most, and you can just keep playing it over and over again. In like the beginning of last year, me and my wife Erin, we played this game like so much. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
I was curious. I don't think we've talked about it since you left. I didn't know if you'd even
Right.
played it yet. So
Yeah.
that's really cool. I'm glad to hear it.
I like
This
it a
is one
lot.
that I've always had on my radar, like always had on my radar, but I've just never actually got. Like, I mean, I like chunky
Yeah.
tiles. I like abstract games. I mean, I should probably try it out, but I haven't.
Right.
We
It was the
take
same
this
for
one.
me. It was one of those that like I always wanted, and then you gave it to me, and I was like, oh, sweet, awesome, this.
I am going to choose. You ready, Doolin?
Oh,
Sorry.
that is not a small box, is it?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
let's have a fight
I
about it.
guess it is.
What's it? Show me.
Yeah.
It's
What do
about
we
the size
compare
of
it
King
to?
Domino.
It's small-ish.
It's bigger than his face.
No, it's
Well,
not.
maybe he's
It's
got a really
small.
tiny face.
Look, here is a coffee mug. This is a coffee mug.
The coffee
It's
mug is small.
and it's not like a big like monster game. It's
Look,
Mm.
okay.
I would
I'm
say
gonna-
that's a medium size.
no, it is
In that
not
case,
a
my next
medium
pick
size.
is The King is Dead. It's the size of my head.
I mean, you could have that discussion. We could have that discussion.
I'm just
think
kidding.
Target
I'm just messing with you.
is a small box game.
I think
I
it's
think
small
it
bugs.
is. This is a 2-player game where you're essentially placing your meeples, whatever you want to call them, on the outer ring. And I can see if I can get a picture here. And when you do that, when you place it on the outer ring, you're essentially trying to make cross sections with your meeples. So if I place it on the top middle and the right middle, then not only do I get the outer benefits where I placed my meeple, but where their lines meet in the very middle, I get that benefit as well. So you're selecting your outside benefits, and then you're receiving your inside benefits also. So you'll see here in this picture, you put your blue things on the outside edge, and then where these rays kind of connect, you put more blue things there, and you get all those things. And you're building a tableau, and your tableau scores points in different ways. Like you can have all of these types of cards, or no duplicate types of cards, and so on and so forth. It's very mean in the sense that you can look at someone's tableau and pretty clearly know what they're trying to go after. And if I put mine here, I can spend my second action to where if I know you want these like 2, what is it, beans? I don't even know what it is. If you want these 2 things right here, I can just cut you off and put my guy here. And then you cannot place your thing here because you can't make that intersection because you're not allowed to place your pawn directly opposite someone else's pawn. So it's a very mean, brutal game and a full 2-player experience, like a full 60-minute game. So it's not like a small game by any means. It's like a real
Especially by the
hard
box.
strategic board game. Wow. Okay, Josh. All right. Okay. I'm gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah,
but
that's what we've always wanted to try.
oh, you never tried it? Is on BGA. I'd be happy to play it on
Is
BGA.
it?
Sometime.
Oh, yeah, let's do
It
it.
is. It's a great game. I love Targi. Very good. Now this one was in competition with 3 or 2 others, so that was a tough call for me. But this one right here, starting off our small box big game category, is really no competition at all for me. And several of us in here can talk about it quite a bit. I'm not sure if you've played it yet, Michelle and Billy. Doolin, I don't think you would pick this game, my friend.
Okay.
I don't have any doubt in my mind. Now, Jash may
Don't do this.
have
Don't take this from me.
It's
Oh,
innovation.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
No,
don't
I wouldn't pick this.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. This is absolutely. You want to fight about it?
You want to fight?
This is a
I've never
small
seen the
box
actual
game.
box. Oh, yeah.
It's a small box game. This is
I'll allow it.
That's
very-
pretty small.
Here's
but
it
I
to
don't know.
Targi. If that, oh, come on. Innovation is a small box game. It's literally strictly cards. That's it. That's all it is. It's a card game.
I
But
could use that for
it
different
is
packages.
like a civilization game almost, in the sense that like
Does it
all
come with that
these
sweet
different-
tattoo?
Yeah, it does
It's
actually.
in the box.
It's temporary. All these cards have different abilities on them, and they also have symbols. And like throughout the game, you're trying to compare the number of symbols to try and force other people to do things, try and force them to give you your cards, try and have powerful effects on you. In a game that Jash and I were playing with Jeff from Foster the Meeple last night, we were literally towards the end of the game, and I was winning. It was like 3-2-1 score wise, and he played a card called Fission, which literally wiped the board. Like we went from having a full board of cards splayed each which way to literally nothing. Like he demolished the whole board. And then I ended up
It was
winning
crazy.
because we ran out of 10 power cards to draw. So that was a nice way to go. But like you can do so many things in this game. I've played this game a dozen times. I've never seen that Fission card. Like he just wiped the entire board. I've never seen that
Oh,
happen
that's
before.
the pretty one.
This is the pretty yellow version of the game.
Ooh.
But yeah, it's just such a nice game. It plays at 2, 3, or 4. I think 2 and 3 is my preference. I've not played it at 4, but like 3 is good, and I can already see where it can kind of be a little much to think about. You know, having 2, it's like you know exactly what your opponent has, and you know exactly what they want, and exactly what they're going to do, and exactly what symbols they're going for, and you can just try and stop them the entire time. You add in a third person, it becomes a little more convoluted and complicated. I think adding in a fourth person would just be a little much. But such an incredible game. I really like this one. I only ever played it on BGA. I do own the physical version, obviously, but I've only
It's
ever played
really
it on
good.
BGA.
Yeah,
It's one of
same
those
here.
games, like every time we've played it, when we're done, I was like, okay, let's play again. Okay, let's play.
Oh
again.
yeah,
Hit that rematch button.
yeah.
Yeah.
We just start it back up. Like me, Jash, and Jeff have a constant rotation on this game right this moment where we just play another one left and right as soon as we finish that one. Such a fun game,
Like I
and
should
it's
try
one
it at
that
some point.
it's
Yeah,
so
you
good.
should. I bought
It's-
the physical copy after playing on BGA, but we
Really?
haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's one that like I have a lot of my favorite obscure games to thank Board Game Barrage for. And this is another game that they champion hard for, that just doesn't have pretty art. Like it doesn't have like a global presence. Like it's a popular game, but like not a lot of people talk about innovation, right? But Kellen and Christina like champion it every single time. It's the number one game of all time. Talk about it each and every episode, whatever. And I finally just broke down and tried it. Like I've owned it for a while, and I finally just decided to try it, and I've really been enjoying it.
They're the reason that you got and love Biblios, right?
Yeah, but let's not talk about that game.
We don't talk about Biblios.
Yeah.
We
We
don't
don't talk about
Biblios.
Biblios. Yeah.
But
Yes, so note to self, put Biblios on list.
No, Michelle.
It's definitely going to be Max's thematic pick because it's so
Yeah.
thematic.
You know what? I like the theme. I think I'm the only person in the world that's
No,
like,
you're not.
that's cool.
There's a couple people in the Discord that talk about how they love it.
Oh,
I
that's
don't.
good.
I mean, it's fine.
We'll
Don't, I
save
don't
it for
hate
when you
it.
try to pick it.
yeah.
Okay, Jash, what is your small box big game?
okay, so
It's got to
think
be a
that
tiny
my-
epic, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. I am
It's
going
not.
with
Don't
Tiny
pick-
Epic Tactics.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, it was. I thought you were joking with me.
I have to cross it off the list.
Might have been on my list.
Oh,
Jash.
nice. Good one, Jash.
I think we
Because
crossed that
when
out.
I hear small, like small box, big game, I can't help but think of the game where the box is literally the
Yeah.
board. Inside the board, you got this little like cloth board, but then you take the pieces of the box and it's literally the map. So, and they're different sizes and you stack them. So you get this isometric tactics game where each team or each player has like 4 different meeples and they're all different classes. So you have your classic like fantasy class, like a werewolf. You know, remember that from Final Fantasy? You could be werewolf, archer. Then you got a little mage. I cannot find my camera.
Let's say you keep forgetting where it's at.
Yeah, and then this, I like this one because it's like literally the like Gamelin Games like
Logo. Yeah.
But there's like so much to this game because like there's the interesting thing of the board itself, but then also there's so many different ways you can play it. There's like a free for all, there's teams, there's a solo mode, and then you can also do the solo mode like AI, but with 2 people. So it's a completely co-op experience.
Yeah.
And then when you do the co-op thing, you go and you're fighting monsters and you go into dungeons that are the other side of the board. So like you go into a cave and you flip this and now it's the dungeon.
That's awesome.
So there's so much that they pack into this little game.
I want to see it. Show it again. There it is.
Yeah, so there's the inside.
Super cool.
It's the most clever use of space in a small box I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's incredible.
That is really cool. I've never played this one. I don't know why you thought I was going to pick this, Jash. I've never played any Tiny Epic game except for Dungeons.
I've only played this one solo, so I've sadly have not got to play the actual other modes.
It's got a really nice rating. All right, Doolin.
All right, so I'm tempted to grab one before it gets picked in a future one. There's 3 games that can fit this one really, really well, but I'm gonna go with the one that I know nobody else is gonna take, but it's perfect for this. And you know, we're just gonna shout out Gamelin Games a couple times. This is Tiny Epic Dungeons. This game, Max and I got to play the prototype, and unfortunately, mine is still not arrived yet. Everyone around me in our state is getting their copy, but mine still hasn't arrived. I had a really cool moment though yesterday.
Oh yeah,
where,
talk about that.
I was at a game store in Lexington, and I've been thinking about like talking to these people forever, like you know, but I don't want to seem braggy or anything, like be like, hey, I'm Tablenauts guy. But anyway,
you know me. I have 3 subscribers.
I go in, and the guy who is there, like the one worker, has his game of Tiny Epic Dungeons on the table, and he had the all in, which, man, it is huge how much this like game takes up the table.
Oh, so it shouldn't be qualified for this draft then?
No, I mean like the box itself is really small, but like you know what I'm saying. Like it's huge, takes up a ton of space.
It's like some kind of small box with a big game in it.
Yeah,
Whoa. We should have it as a category.
And he was like, I'm trying to learn how to play, and I'm watching a whole bunch of videos on how to play it. And hey, I'm wearing that shirt right here. And he was like, yeah. And I looked down at his phone where he was like watching videos, and he had watched Tablenauts play the game. And I was like, oh, hey, that's me. Like a cool moment. But either way, this is a this is a dungeon crawler in a very, very small box. It takes up a whole lot of space. You're going to be collecting like armor and weapons and like all of these things to go through a full dungeon and then fight a boss monster by the end. And it's just really, really in depth for such a tiny, tiny box. It should be out very soon. People are getting their copies right now. And this is one that I would assume will be in stores soon. So if you're interested, look your local board game store up, or just go on to BGG because people are probably already trying to sell copies for twice their worth. So
Probably.
but really, really fun game. Max, would you say this is one that you really like?
Oh yeah, no, I really like. It was not on
Yeah.
my list, but I do really like this game a lot.
I'm so jealous that you guys got to do that.
Yeah, like the moment Jash
Me too.
left, it was like, oh, we're gonna be able to preview a Tiny Epic game. Sorry, buddy.
We're still waiting on our copy.
Yeah, so is
Me
Doolin.
too.
Yeah. All right, Billy, what is your second pick? Small box, big game.
Tiny Epic Tactics.
The sequel, Tiny Epic Tactics 2.
Tinier, epicer tactics.
Yeah.
Super Tiny Epic Tactics.
They make stuff like that, don't they? Isn't there like a Super Tiny
There's a
Epic Galaxies or something?
Yeah, it comes in a like card deck box.
If you
Yeah.
drop one of the pieces from that, you will never find it again.
It just disappears into the aether.
But for real, it's one of the things I had for 2-player only as well. What are you doing over there?
I'm being happy that it's not my game.
I thought it had a much bigger box until I actually went through the collection to find games for this. Ticket to Ride New York.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, do I have it? No, I have the London.
It's
It is a small box for sure. I think at least I would classify it as a small box.
and this time I trust your opinion.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah. Why
I've
this
never
one?
played this version in particular. Is this just because it's the only Ticket to Ride that would possibly fit on this list?
No, this is actually, I think, probably the one we played the most. It's just 2-player. It's much quicker than the full version.
Oh, it's strictly 2-player. Oh, you said that. You said that, but
Yeah, I'm
interesting.
not sure. I think it might be for more, but I can't imagine that you would want to. It's a really tight map.
It says
Like,
2 to 4. But
Everything
Oh,
is.
well, good thing I didn't use it for my first.
yeah, that's right.
That's true. That's not the category we're on anymore.
You're safe.
But yeah,
Also, it's New York's an hour away from us, so
Mhm.
It's like hometown game.
Thematically
Yeah.
adjacent.
Yes, thematically adjacent.
I really
never
liked
played it,
these tinier ones because it adds the extra score mechanic of if you have a train that goes in like a circle inside of a region, you score that region. I think that's really, really neat because I know that the base game doesn't have that, and it adds sort of an extra area control mechanic to the game.
I really like that they included Danny Zuko on the front cover. I dig that aspect.
Hey.
Hey.
I thought it was the Fonz.
Oh, come on. Let me have this, Michelle.
It's definitely the Fonz. He's doing the thumb thing.
It-
but-
I hate you all.
hey,
yeah, he doesn't look anything like
me
Prince
the
Zuko.
Fonz.
Prince Zuko. Thanks, Jash. Prince Zuko. All right, Michelle, you're safe.
Yeah.
I have to get my honor.
Honor. I've never seen that show, so
Shocking.
What?
it's all
I
over
am
my
going
head.
to choose for small box big game. I'm going to choose Burgle Brothers,
Oh.
Such a good pick.
which
Oh man.
which we love in general, but we cheat because we have this big wooden scaffolding that does not fit in the box that makes it actually
you?
play on 3 levels.
Jash said, "What are you?"
It's so good.
Jash, I
but-
would recommend getting the app first and trying it.
Yeah,
'Cause
give
it's
it a
really cheap.
try. It's so first of all, I love the art, right? We love Fowers games to begin with, but that's pretty much the tower we have. But we
Wow.
have not painted. Yeah. Super
That's
fun. But
cool.
so that doesn't fit in the box. But the game itself the game itself is a really small box. And you're moving through this building trying to crack safe codes and steal goods and then get out before the security guards can find you. But you have to work together because there's all this line of sight with security guards. And if you step on something and make a noise, that will set them off. They'll come faster. Sometimes you crack the code for the safe. I think once we had a yappy poodle was in the safe.
Mhm.
So
I hate when that happens.
we opened the safe and this dog just barked until we could get rid of it. And the guards kept following us everywhere we went. Yeah, it's 3 floors. You got to get through all 3 floors and get back out. It's super fun and really one of the better co-ops out there because you absolutely have to have a really solid plan to win.
Yeah.
Do you have any experience with the second one?
I don't because, I like this one and I felt like the second one was just kind of only a little bit different.
Right.
So in an effort to not buy every game on the market, which I generally fail at, we kept this one. And also the second one had a bit of a bigger box that
it's got
out and
right.
I just like that this thing is compact. It is a game in itself to try and get all those components back in that box. It's just like
it seems pretty
always
tight.
is.
like those sticks have to be lined up exactly, But
I really like the way
it.
this looks.
This is super fun. And these are, these are genuinely good guys. We've met them a couple of times. They're really kind and they'll sit there and demo anything.
Even though they steal.
They do. Well, not. Yeah. They're experienced burglars, but generally nice guys.
Other than that, as long as you can get past that aspect.
No, it's really thematic. The art's great. There's definitely tension. Like when you're flipping over a card, you don't, it could be the last one you're going to get to flip or you fall through the floor or,
Right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'd like to try that out for sure. That looks great.
Yeah, super fun.
All right, Michelle, it's right back to you.
Oh, I have to cross this one off now.
Card game. Oh, man.
So this one's really hard.
This one might be the scariest for me as far as getting back to me.
I'm going to pick one probably based on recency bias. I'm just going to do that. That's my... Don't touch my game. I'm going first. I'm gonna pick Jekyll versus Hyde.
Ooh.
I am. Jekyll versus Hyde is a 2-player trick-taking game. And I like trick-taking games in general, but this one is this crazy, swingy trick-taking game where each of you have different objectives. So if you're playing as Dr. Jekyll, you want all the tricks to be even. So you don't want to win more or lose more. You want to try and play those hands.
Ooh.
But if you're playing as Mr. Hyde, you want chaos. So you want to either win them all or lose them all. And if you can see those 3 tokens on the board there, the high suit, the trump suit, changes based on what you play first. So you can't play your strongest card first, or that whole suit is weak. It's really tricky and it swings a lot, but you play 2 rounds, one where you're Jekyll, one where you're Hyde, so that kind of mitigates any advantage from being one or the other.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's one of the more clever trick-taking games I've seen.
What's
What
that?
is
A Pokemon version of it?
Apparently.
That's interesting.
Just randomly.
I guess
tossed in
the
there.
other one wasn't thematic enough for them.
Yeah, that little tracker that you see on the board moves around based on the difference in tricks. So if you both won 4, it won't move. And if if someone won 8 and someone won none, it'll move up. And Hyde wins if it gets all the way across. So
It's
Very
really
cool.
fun.
Yeah, you've played this a lot on BGA, right?
I have played it a lot on BGA. That does not mean I'm good at it on BGA.
Cool. You going to teach me?
Yeah, absolutely. This is
I won my... sorry.
no, go ahead.
I won my first game of it, so I thought I was good at it, and then I lost every single one after that.
I really want to try this.
The
Especially.
first game I played, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. You go ahead.
The first
Okay,
game
no,
I
I'll
played,
take
The
it
first
from
time I
here.
played this...
I thought you had to win every trick, so I just went in there barreling in like I'm gonna win them all, and I didn't understand why this person wasn't even fighting back until I realized that I was playing as Jekyll, and I'm not supposed to win every trick, and I just lost all by myself.
Yeah, I could see how that could happen for
It was
sure.
bad. It was bad.
I really want to try Dr. Squirtle and Mr. Mime.
That was so good.
Thank you.
How long were you cooking that one?
At least 10 seconds.
That was great. All right, Billy, you're back up. Card game.
On a very similar note to Jekyll and Hyde,
Ooh.
my card game pick would have to be Fox in the Forest.
Mm.
Ooh.
Not very
never
similar
played it.
thematically, but as a trick-taking game where you don't want to win too much, it's a very similar kind of challenge, and I'm out of words.
That's all right. Yeah.
Pretty art.
I know Jeff and Jamie really like this one.
Yeah. Have you played this version?
The duet, yeah.
Duet's also really good, yeah.
I like it a lot.
We bought this game off their recommendation, and it was missing like 3 cards. And we submitted
Oh no!
a request to the company. We never heard back. So
No.
never played
Oh
this game.
no!
No.
We won't hold that against them
R.I.P.
for the game itself, anyway.
Oh, I'm going to hold it against them for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
this
beautiful.
talked about a lot as far as 2-player games go. I'm just not big into trick taking. So I'm curious to see if I'd actually like it or not. I don't know.
We should play
not
duet
big-
sometime.
Are you not big into trick taking because you played The Crew?
Probably.
He hadn't played one before we played The Crew.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's what did it. Don't judge a trick taking on that game. No.
Don't let Max downplay trick taking. He loves Skull King though, and he's probably just trying to get me to not to pick
no,
it next.
that's true. That's true. I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good point.
It is on our
Good
hate
point.
draft list.
You have a hate draft list in particular?
Well,
If our
we have
first
a-
picks get taken, then we go for spite.
It's really,
Oh my god. All right. Well, it's Jash's turn or Doolin's turn now.
I was gonna say, I was like, what?
Sorry, we skipped you.
This one is slowly becoming one of my favorite games of all time. This is a deck building, really 2-player best game, but it can play up to 4.
Mhm.
I've not done that yet, and it has an incredible app as well. And this is Shards of Infinity.
Oh, yeah.
This is the game that has overtaken Star Realms for me. It has basically gotten me to stop playing that app and not really wanting to get Star Realms back out. But it's incredible. I think that it's a lot tighter than Star Realms, and I also really, really love because this whole time you can be going to just try to kill your opponent, which is typical for a deck builder, but you can also be going for this little counter at the bottom that goes all the way up to 30. And once you get that to 30, there's a card you start with at the beginning of the game that if you pull that out after you've gotten your counter all the way up to 30, you have infinite damage you throw at your opponent and you win. So it's essentially both of you have this Death Star that you're trying to slowly build up to use on the other, or you can just straight out attack and get a whole bunch of cards. This is a game that Emily absolutely loves and she wants to play all the time. And again, incredible app and very strategic. A
I need
whole
to
lot
buy
of
this
fun.
app.
Yeah,
How much is the app?
I think
It's like $7 or
$4.
$8. Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh, so
Max
I don't know.
is probably better at finding that out. than
You
me.
actually paid for it. I have it.
That's
Why
true.
would I be?
Yeah, but
better at it?
I forget all the time how much money I spend on
Yeah.
things. But it's fantastic. I think that
It is
another
$7.99.
aspect that I want to bring up that I love about this is that you know how when you play a deck builder, when you first buy a couple of those cards at the beginning of the game, they're useful, but by the end of the game, they're just annoying to have in your deck because you're not really going for them. Well, in this game, I would say like 30% of the cards have a little bubble at the bottom that says if you get your I want to call it your shard counter. It's that like thing that you're doing with the Death Star. If you get it above a certain threshold, so like 5, 10, 15, 20, then you're going to get boosted effects every time you play these cards. So your cards naturally just get stronger as the game goes on, and it never feels like your hand is just poopy. Like it's just it's really
Is that the
really
technical
awesome
term?
mechanic. Yes, Poopy. It's written in the rules.
Poopy.
But Shards of Infinity, excellent game. Jazz from the Lobby of Hobbies. This is one of his favorite games of all time, and we play all the time. So if you're a fan of him, go check out his channel because I know that he's talked about it quite a bit as well.
Yeah.
All right. You didn't hate draft me yet.
I didn't.
It's
Jash.
There's still time.
You're up.
So I had 3 things written down, and none of them got taken. So I have to choose now. I'm not gonna go
First
with
world
the one
problems.
I wrote down first. I'm
Oh.
gonna go with one that has never flopped. Tried and true, all reliable. I'm trying to get the box open.
Okay. Take your time.
I'm stalling.
Bigging it up.
Yeah.
We can edit
Man.
this out. We're not gonna
Yeah,
edit
yeah,
this out.
yeah. We're not going to. No, we're not going
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I can't.
We
I
don't
can't get this
edit.
box.
What are you
I'm
talking
going,
about?
I'm going to destroy this box. Trying to get this open.
So it's
Seems
really
like not a great
accessible
idea.
game.
So
Yeah,
clearly,
very
Jash never
accessible.
played this game before because he's just now opening it.
Good old no. Good old taco cat goat cheese pizza.
See, I had that here too.
Game. That is a great
Yeah.
game.
So fun, so simple. It has like the slapping card mechanic of like Egyptian rat screw, if you've ever played that. But you play cards in a circle and you say taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza. If anyone messes up the order or the rhythm, then they get the cards. If you say taco and you play a taco, then you have to smack it. The person who smacks it the least, they have to get all the cards. And then there's special ones, as you can see at the bottom of these. There's a groundhog, there's a gorilla.
So it's about how hard you smack it?
Whoever smacks it the least. Everybody at the table is just like, whack.
Less quantity, less quality, more so just speed.
Whoever smacks
There's-
it last.
Yeah.
That's the word you're looking for.
And then there's 3 special cards that are the narwhal, the gorilla, and what's the other one? Like a groundhog. They have a
Yeah.
special action that you have to do.
Will you act those out for us, please?
Yeah, I think narwhal you have to like do this, and then you have to smack the table.
Yeah.
I think gorilla you got to do like a chest beat and then smack the table. And then what's groundhog? I don't know. You got to like run out in front of a car or
you
something.
gotta
Hit the
hit the table like this.
You hit the table and
Knuckles
then you
beat on
smack
the
it.
table. Yeah.
Yeah. Max put the camera on me and then said hit the table like this.
Oh,
I was gonna
that's
say
true.
no one can see you, Max.
That's
Yeah.
true. I didn't consider that. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a great
but
game.
it's super simple, super fun. It's very chaotic and it's always a good time.
Well, I'm glad that you didn't pick what I wanted to go for because Doolin was totally right. I really wanted to pick and will be picking Skull King
Who
for
knew?
my card game. Did you all know this was coming?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna pick Biblios.
Biblios.
Or I don't know. I hear people say both.
Biblia. No, you don't. I've never
Who's
heard
people?
anyone say Biblios in my entire life.
Who is it? that
Was
says
it
that?
you? Did you hear you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was me. No.
Skull King is a trick-taking game. I forgot that I did enjoy this trick-taking game. This is one of my favorite games, like in general, to be honest with you. It's a very... I've talked about this in videos past, but it's one of my favorites in the sense that it does a very good job balancing competitiveness and just plain out fun. I think it is very inherently competitive. You want to win, and it makes you like talk crap and like yell at people, and it's really exciting. But also at the same time, it's very silly, especially if you play the way we play, where you literally bang on the table and say "yo ho ho" like every time you do. Like we don't just pass out the cards. Like, okay, what are we playing? Like, nah, you got to get into this. You got to get into it.
We can't bang on the table at our house, or else
Well,
the dog goes nuts.
bang it on your chest or something. I don't know. But this game is so good. I love Skull King. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. That's the Kraken. And like when you know that Doolin needs to win a trick and he's holding on to that Kraken, you're like, well, even if he has like a pirate or a mermaid, he ain't winning this trick.
Time
Blow
to
it
release
up.
the Kraken.
Yeah, like it's just so fun. And I like the various levels of complexity that this game has because there's a lot of expansions that are just modular and optional. So you can play with the pirates, but you don't have to play with the pirate abilities. You can play with the loot or just not play with the loot or the mermaids or the kraken or the whale. Like you can just add and mix things in as you see fit. And normally I just won't play with the pirate abilities or the loot when I'm first playing with people. It's just too much. So like it's just really nice, very introductory, and it's just so fun. I just absolutely love Skull King. One of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
Now,
Good pick, Max.
this is my thematic pick. I had a tough time with this one. Did you all have a tough time with this one?
No.
I have 3
No.
choices.
Okay.
This was the one I figured out first.
Really? I have 2 choices. One of them, which I'm not going to pick, was also in conversation for my 2-player only game. I'm not going to pick that one. I am, however, going to pick a game that's about drowning your friends. It's
Oh,
Deep Sea Adventure.
Oh, nice.
Thank goodness. Okay.
That's one of my 3.
This is Deep Sea Adventure by Oink Games. And in
Love
my
Oink.
opinion, is very thematic because you're traveling down, trying to find treasure and loot. All the while you're running out of oxygen. And it really does feel like you're like, it's that press your luck. Like, I really want this loot, but I know that I won't have the breath to get back up. And like, it's just one of those things that is so, it's so tense. And it's one of those things where when you start to turn back, like you want to follow suit. Like the moment Doolin turns back, I'm like, oh no, am I making a bad choice staying down here? And the answer is typically yes. But it's just like super fun. I've only played it a handful of times, but I really do like it. And I really couldn't think of a better pick for thematic for me personally as Deep Sea Adventure.
Yeah, we have to try this one. We do not have this one.
It's so good.
Mhm.
Everything Oink
It's-
makes is
Right,
good.
yeah, we like Oink. We just don't have this one. I think it was not available when we were.
Mm.
I want to know
See,
what
this
Doolin
one's very
was.
fun. I was really worried Max was going to take the one that I thought he was, but he didn't. So I'm glad.
I probably gonna regret it now if you're that excited about
Oh,
it.
you're
Sounds
definitely
like-
are. You definitely are.
Wait, I bet I know what it is. And if I
We'll
do
see.
know what it is, it was my second pick.
Okay, we'll see.
Go ahead, Jash. What's up?
All right, so I'm going to pick one that has sentimental value to me because of my Tablenauts boys,
Oh.
and that
Aw.
is
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is.
Please Fix
Yeah.
the Town.
Oh yeah.
I was right. What's up?
It's very simple game. You got these goofy little alien boys that got mixed up together. So everyone has tiles like these. You typically get the ones that are the same color, not 4 completely different ones like I grabbed. And you're given a card that you guys can see at the top, and you have to take your tiles and match the picture on there. And then once you get it, you smack the table, you get that card. The first person to do that like 5 times wins. I've pulled this out a couple times since being here. It's a really great filler game because you can do an entire
Absolutely.
round. You could do an entire round in like 5 minutes,
Oh, yeah.
depending on how good some people are at it. I'm really bad at it.
I'm really good
but
at
it's
it.
fun to introduce. But super simple, super fun. I have a game that's pretty similar to it, but isn't thematic at all. So that theme of like the art and stuff just adds like a whole nother.
That 9 tiles panic that you're talking about?
Just regular 9 tiles.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Which is
No,
just this,
super
but with
fun
shapes instead of the
I like the
alien
art.
boys. I
Yeah,
know.
this is
I
a
love
great
it a
one.
lot.
It's
So
one of the
cute.
first games we were allowed to cover on Tablenauts. Definitely a little bit of nostalgia there.
Aw.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Ian Zhang. Let's go.
Yeah.
Gravity.
Boy,
Mhm.
Ian.
For taking a chance on a channel that had like 400.
Maybe
Right. We
300.
were nowhere at the
I
time.
don't even know. Yeah,
Nah,
Gravitation Games, baby.
we were on our way up. Pew, pew, pew.
Mhm.
Going to space.
But no, it was super cool of them, and yeah, hopefully we got to actually demo a game that he created during
Yeah.
the pandemic, and hopefully that'll come out at some point.
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
ended up just being a browser-based game for now.
Yeah,
But- all right, Doolin, what's up?
I am so happy that it got back to me. I was almost going to take this in the big game for small box originally, but I think that it fits thematic best. This is a game that should be on our channel soon. I taught it to Max and then had him play it solo with me controlling all of the pieces. And this is
wow.
Final Girl. Such a good game and so thematic. The box itself it comes in is basically like a VHS style scary movie box, and it's really, really cool.
Sounds pretty
I know
big.
that
I'm gonna have to pause you here first, though. This might be my first discrepancy. I don't know if I think this
what
is
are you
a small
talking
box,
about? It's a VHS style box.
but you
VHSs
literally
are bigs,
need
bruh.
2 of them. You have to have 2 of them to play it.
It is tinier than Target
Whoa.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have them both here. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Square footage wise, it is definitely tinier than Target.
What about rectangle footage?
Anyway, I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about this game because this is still going to be my pick regardless. This is a game where you play the stereotypical final character, final girl in a scary movie, and she is collecting resources depending on where, what box you mix with it. Oh no, it is tinier. Okay, you are holding up 2 boxes.
You have to have 2 boxes to play, Doolin.
Yeah,
It's
but you
required.
can put them all in one box.
No,
It's
you
fine.
can't. No, you
Yes,
can't.
you can. Yes, you can.
No,
Yes, you
can't.
can. This is a tiny game. Hold up one of those boxes, Max.
Welcome to our small box and final girl draft.
It is. We're gonna measure this. We're gonna measure this at your house. Square footage wise, it is tinier than Target.
No, it's not.
Yeah, but Target's
Yes, it
big
is.
too. It's not a good
Listen,
baseline.
if Target is on the table, Final Girl should be fine.
Dude, Final Girl
Anyway, this
not
is
smaller than Target, but go on.
this is a great game where you're playing against an incredibly fierce and terrifying AI that quickly you just feel like you're going to die. And then it's really great because the AI amps up, and then you have slowly built yourself up. And by the end of the game, you actually feel like you might be stronger if you've lasted that long. And I've had that experience, and then watching Max also have that experience. I don't want to spoil what happens in our gameplay, but there's definitely moments where both of us have had this moment where you just think this is impossible. There's no way that I'm going to be able to face this monster. And then you get some extra, maybe items that you searched for or some special cards. And all of a sudden, realistically, it feels like you're going to be able to face this monster.
Doolin be foolin'. Let's go.
I don't care. It's perfect.
I've had this
Final
behind
Girl
me
is
the
great.
entire time.
That's
I'm siding with
amazing.
Doolin. I think this is a fine pick.
Thank
Oh,
you.
come on.
I really appreciate you.
Was
Well,
your pick giant next time?
Since we're on the
know
subject,
that.
shout out to our boy Kenny from the Discord and from Louisville for painting these miniatures.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
these-
Yeah, that's amazing.
We backed season 2 on Kickstarter, but still haven't played the season 1.
Yeah. So what I think is awesome is that core box has pretty much every piece that you need, and then all of the extra boxes have the villains and the places, and so they come off of those boxes and they essentially become the boards that you'll use, and then all of the pieces that you need for the game are in the other box, and it's really, really, really cool. The way it's built.
Ooh.
And
cool.
comes off, and it literally looks like VHS tapes of old scary films. I think that is so unique and cool. And you can put this on a shelf once you have all of them, and it just looked like a VHS collection.
Yeah, you
Like,
need
it's
a
really
pretty
cool.
big shelf for that, though.
And that's just for one of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, season 2 I think just ended its Kickstarter. So if you want this game, I would be looking for season 1 stuff. And season 2, it's going to take a long time, but yeah,
But it looks
That's
great.
definitely on my list to pick up when I get back to the States.
you can
I
just borrow
also-
mine if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know if I have a bag big enough for it, though.
Oh my gosh.
Alrighty. And that is Billie, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
I couldn't remember if we were going down or up. I could not recall.
For my most thematic small game, I picked my favorite trick-taking game, which is Tournament at Camelot.
Ooh.
Oh.
Tournament
I've
at
heard of this.
Camelot.
You're pushing the box.
Camel up.
It's not that. That's a very small box.
You're pushing the box.
Look at the pictures on.
I'm
We all
putting-
get one.
No.
Okay, well, my next one's gonna be Frosthaven.
Oh, that's
at
much
that.
smaller than Final Girl.
Yeah, it's
And
not.
Targi.
It's not big.
Get out of here with your Targi slander. Final Girl's bigger than Targi.
It's not.
Yeah, this one's a trick taking game that works at 2-player. It'd probably be just as good at 3 or 4, but it works well at 2. But in addition to your normal trick taking rules, you get a character with special abilities, and you can build on those abilities as you play. If you get wounded by like poison cards and sword cards and things like that, once you get to, I don't know if it's crippled or decrepit, which is it, Bill? Do you remember?
I don't remember which ones.
Those are the categories. You're like crippled, decrepit. Then you get a bonus power to go with you, or a sidekick or something else. There's these weird catch-up mechanisms where if you fall really far behind, you get grail powers that let you like catch back up. It's really fun, and you don't take the tricks so much as you take wounds. So a lot of times you're trying to lose a trick to throw wounds at somebody else. It's a clever spin on it, and the art is
phenomenal.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
spent
do like that.
a whole lot of time doing medieval manuscript stuff, and it's just beautiful.
That is really cool.
Beautiful. And Billy does not win this one all the time.
There you go.
No, just most of the time.
All right, Michelle, what's your pick?
I had to pivot a little bit. I'm going to go with a Gamelin game.
You weren't going to pick
Ooh.
Final Girl, right?
No, I haven't played it yet, so you guys were safe.
And
now.
it's also too big.
She only picked small box games.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tiny Epic Zombies. That is
I
my
haven't played
pick
that
for
one.
thematic. Because, first of all, those little zombie meeples just make that game. But you're in a mall, right? And as you're playing, all the zombies just keep coming through the doors, like in waves at you. So, and also you can hop on, in this game, there's a motorcycle that your meeples can ride, and there's a police car that you can steal, and your meeples can hop in it and ride around. But it feels like Billy, what's the mall one? Is it Dawn of the Dead?
I think so.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah,
like one of those
you're
old zombie movies that's, in a mall, and you're running around trying to collect things and get it back before the zombies crash through the
Are
crates.
these what they look like?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, they look like they're doing Thriller.
Hmm.
They're
amazing.
Yeah, they're great. There's the motorcycle that you can ride to like bust through
I
the
love the
zombies.
item meeple stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
So good. Yeah, and they are item meeples, so you can so you can carry a chainsaw and there's a hockey stick, all this stuff.
Oh my gosh,
like-
is that like an Akido reference? That's amazing.
I like these
Yeah.
fan-made things.
They're amazing. So as far as thematic goes, this one feels like you're being attacked by zombies. It's co-op, and there's a solo mode. There's like 2 versus the AI, all different variations. And all of those cards have 2 sides. So,
Oh, nice.
and lots of variability in play, and you can play all different characters.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of game inside that
Oh, it's
box.
Scott Alm's game. Okay. Now, we're in the 5th and final round, and Michelle
The
can
final
go
girl,
ahead
if
and
you will.
claim
So-
her.
If
The
I
biggest
could
round.
if I could fit multiple choices into a small box, can I have multiple choices?
Oh.
We can do honorable mentions at the end.
But she wants to take them from other people.
I want to choose some button shy games, and
That's fair.
nobody can argue small box here.
I don't think anyone else except for maybe Jash would choose button shot games
So-
right now.
Because I will not cheat, I'm gonna pick one of our newer favorites
Rove.
to throw in there. It's Rove.
Yeah, look at me
Yeah.
guessing right.
It's Rove.
That's
this
one
is
I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, the art's great. It's one of the solo games, but we don't usually play it solo. We usually play it co-op because the puzzle is.
And we still can't beat it.
It's like a slide puzzle. You had those slide puzzles when you were a kid, moving 8 pieces in 9 spaces, trying to get them to move around. Those cards right there, see on the middle, they each have like a movement. These go diagonal, these go one space, that kind of thing. You have a goal and you're trying to use energy points to move them into the... Yep, that's the slide puzzle. That's what you're doing with these. But you have to use energy to move. And so your first few rounds, you're like, I've got plenty of energy moving these little cards around. And then by the third round, you're out. You have one move and you cannot possibly do it. So up there on the top, you have those missions that they complete. And when you complete them, they make a little nice robot.
There you go.
Oh,
Panorama.
cool.
Yeah, this one's beautiful. I really like the art with this one.
There's an
It looks like
expansion.
Limbo,
It
with
does kind of look
Laura.
like Limbo.
It
Yes.
but
absolutely
orange.
But orange, yeah.
I would highly recommend this if you just want to sit down to like a puzzle, right? Just,
It's really good.
yeah, this one's great. Your
I
energy
think-
cards are based, you get extra power if you can leave those slide cards in the right place. You can get more power for your energy. There's
Hmm.
tons of layers to this puzzle.
All right, Billy, finish
Let's
off
do that.
your draft. What is your free-for-all pick?
My free-for-all pick is Campy Creatures.
Oh, that's who's that? Oh God, I was gonna say it's not cool.
People that made the thing.
Parks people, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Key Master.
Creatures.
Keymaster. Yeah.
And it's not a trick-taking game, but it has the same kind of feeling as one.
I love it. It looks
But it's
beautiful.
really fun, and it was my second pick for a thematic.
Oh, nice.
Because I just absolutely love this theme and all the art, and it's
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
It
so
looks
pretty.
awesome.
I need to try this one for sure.
Yeah, it's good at two, even.
What is it exactly?
It's, you aren't taking tricks. They're not really tricks, but they're like really small, quick hands. But everybody only has these cards 0 through 8.
Oh, there's a
You-
Demogorgon and a Kaiju.
Yeah. You can switch out. Expansions give you different monsters you can switch in and out, but you just
Wow,
have to have 0
nice.
through 8. But that means you know what the other person has.
Right.
So sometimes there's like a villager and both monsters want to get it, or you want to save the damsel, or whatever the objective is. If you use your most powerful card, your opponent knows you just did. You both have 0 through 8 in your hand. So you have to try and plan ahead
Right.
what you're going to do. So, yeah. All
Love
based
that.
on those old monster movies. Super good.
Yeah,
Very
this is
cool.
one that's really intriguing to me.
And it's
Definitely
like
wanna try this one.
Gamelin game size. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
I-
don't think I've seen the box, but
I was gonna say, based off of that description, with like knowing what your other person has, I think it'll give me vibes of Lord of the Rings: The Confrontation, but instead of just moving characters around the map, you're just playing the cards. It sounds awesome.
yeah, there's a lot of bluffing because you're trying to figure out what they're going to do. There's no
Yeah.
surprise. It's not a deck builder. You're not like, oh no, you have that super powerful card. You know
Right.
what they have.
right.
Yeah.
That's a very good pick. I like that a lot. I mean, I've never played it, but
Cool.
it looks great. All right, Doolin,
All right.
finish us off.
so
man.
disappointed.
Yeah.
It's just difficult
When-
because there's so many games left that like I want to pull in, but I can't.
Mhm.
Right.
I think what I'm gonna go with though is one that has hit the table a whole bunch, and it's really great on BGA, and everyone I play with seems to really, really enjoy this game, and that is Similo.
Yeah.
Similo is just a fantastic game. You can get a whole bunch of these and play with them all together, but according to Max, that makes it not a small box game. So we'll just say one.
Oh, no.
These.
You could have like 5 Similos and they wouldn't make up a single final.
Yeah,
He's got a point.
they. I actually played this with 2 boxes, and or on BGA specifically, and I think I enjoy it more that way because trying to draw similarities between a spooky monster
Way
and
hard.
a wild animal is so funny, and like watching people try to like guess that is really, really silly. And then on top of that, from the beginning of Tablenauts, I've mentioned one of my favorite games is Mysterium.
Mhm.
This is Mysterium, like the game of Mysterium, in a extremely tiny package and an extremely small amount of time too. I hesitate to say that it just makes Mysterium like unneeded, unnecessary, but it's getting there for me. I still enjoy the theme and the play of Mysterium, but I think that this is simpler and it's easier to pull out, easier to table, and just as fun. So yeah,
I definitely prefer Similo.
I didn't know there was a spooky one, and we need that now.
Oh yeah,
I like that it's called Spookies.
We need
I think
that.
we have fables and history, but it gets the same arguments as Mysterium and like Dixit, where you're like, I just meant it was green, right?
Yeah.
Like-
Is it the background? Is it the eyes? Is it the pose? Is it the
Right,
connection
yeah.
from the story? Like, yeah, I really like Similo. I think it's so simple, but it's honestly my preferred of those games, like of Mysterium and stuff like that. I just prefer it.
I think I like the art and like the amount of cards in Mysterium is
I
really
agree.
nice.
The art is better for sure, but
Yeah,
But-
Mysterium, I feel like, can be much more abstract with like the clues you're trying to give.
Yeah. But great game. And it's also available on BGA. So if it's like one of those that you want to try first, like you can go there and it's a really fun experience.
all right, Jash,
Me, okay.
what's your
Well,
last pick,
There's
man?
Draco.
Yeah,
So-
you heard him. Yeah, he's
I have a lot of things on the list still, but I feel like
I do too. I gotta
can't.
decide.
I can't end this without doing an Oinka game myself. So I'm gonna go with my favorite party game of all time. Fake Artist goes to
I almost picked it. It was right here.
right.
I literally, it was this close, but I picked Similo instead.
It's so good.
Nice.
It's like Chameleon meets Pictionary.
You still have my
um,
copy, Doolin?
You gave it to me.
Did I?
You
Oh,
called
okay.
it, Max.
You said
You
I
called
didn't
it.
play it anymore. You can
No,
have
that's
it.
true. I didn't. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
He
So
said you you gave it to me.
so good.
It is a great game.
Yeah. So everyone is given a word to draw except for one person who is given an X. And then it goes around the table twice and everyone draws one line. And you can be ambiguous of what you think a line is. I've seen people draw so many things with just one line, and some people just do like burp. But you want to make everyone not think that you don't know what you're drawing, but also if you guess who the fake artist is and they guess correctly, then they still win.
That's
So
a
you have to
weird-looking
draw good
donkey.
enough that people know what you're drawing, but not too good that you give away what it is.
Yeah.
And the game comes with these little markers, so everyone, you can tell like what color they are. It also comes with like a little sketch pad, but that's boring. You need a big piece of paper so you have a nice gallery at the end of all the beautiful pictures that you guys have drawn together.
Do you ever have trouble getting people to understand that concept of drawing just well enough, but not so well that someone can guess?
I think sometimes we get there to where like it's fairly obvious what it is. But then other times I really just feel like it depends on the picture and like how it starts as well.
We played, my husband's an artist, and we played, and he would just draw these like random lines, and we would ask him what he was doing, and he goes, "You told me not to draw so well that people would know what the answer was." I'm like, well, but well enough.
Right.
Everyone thought he was the fake artist every time.
That's funny.
So it's really funny that the picture up there was just butts, because I
Butts.
played this 2 weeks ago, and the word was butthole. And we knew who the fake artist was because he was the only person who didn't react to receiving butthole on his little thing. I was like, I know you specifically would laugh at that.
That's too funny. Yeah, this is a really good game. I've only played it like twice. Like I need to. It just never saw the table. I'd like to play it more though, for sure.
It's so good.
That's good, yeah.
All right, now keep talking while I decide what my last pick is because I still haven't made up my mind yet.
How do you have
You
extras?
haven't?
I have a couple, and then I want to spend like 5 minutes talking about the honorable mentions, but then I gotta go.
Yeah, I
'cause I'm
have
on a time
one
crunch here.
specifically I want to do an honorable mention of.
For my final pick, it was
I have-
between 3 in particular. Oh man,
I think I know at least 2 of them.
it's gotta be. I feel like I'm too basic.
I
But
think I know all 3.
I'd like to hear your guesses.
Max, you're a
after
complex individual.
I show you that this is my pick.
Biblios.
Biblios. Biblios by Steve Finn Games. ELO is the publisher. This is a game about getting books and having the best collection of books and artifacts. And it's just a super simple card game. It's got 2 phases. The first of which phase you're going to be drafting, essentially. And what I mean by that is, in a 2-player game, you're going to draw 3 cards. You're going to keep one, you're going to give one, and you're going to put one in the auction phase for round 2. But the fun thing is you only look at one at a time. So I'm going to take this card, and I have to decide right then and there, is it good enough to keep it, or should I give it to someone else, or should I put it in the auction pile and hope I get something better? I really like that thought process. Like, if I get a 1, I'm just going to give it straight to Doolin. Like, he can have that. I don't want that. But if then I might get a 1 gold or something, which is laughably even worse maybe towards the end. Like, it's just one of those things that I really like the 2-phase system. In the second phase, you're spending your money to buy better cards, and you kind of know half of what's in that deck. All the while, you're manipulating these dice. They're never rolled. They all start at the number 3. And throughout the game, you're manipulating them, pulling them up and down, and basically you're scoring for those objectives. So this brown objective would be worth 3. Whoever has the most brown points gets 3 points into the game. Whoever has the most red points only gets 1 point at the end of the game. Really love Biblios. One of my favorites. I've only ever played it at 2. I don't think I've ever played it above 2, but really good game.
Have you tried the new version?
I have not. I don't really have any interest to.
It's on BGA. I don't.
Is it?
I don't
Okay.
like it at all.
The art is not better, in my opinion.
No,
I guess it's.
They took a theme that everybody complained about and made a generic theme that everybody complains about.
Yeah, it's like all white people in a queen, like a hierarchy, whatever you want to call it.
And they took the dice away.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. It's
And
just
they made
weird.
this. No, yeah, I'm gonna hang on to my copy of Biblios. Like,
Yeah, same here. I do want to try the
because I
roll and
love that
write
one.
though. I am interested in
I
Quill
have
and
that.
Parchment. Is there any? Have you played it yet?
I did. I played
You
it
have the roll?
solo. Oh my gosh, yes, I played it solo because Billie wouldn't play it because apparently she doesn't know about it. And
Know about it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think that it would benefit from playing with another player.
I think
because there's a
Jazz
back and forth.
prefers it to Biblios. Like, he likes Quill and Parchment even
Wow.
better. But
Yeah.
okay. Anyways, this is our draft. We're going to spend just a few minutes discussing our lists and also our honorable mentions. Just another shout out and thank you to Michelle and Billy from Second Star to the Left
Yeah.
for joining us here today.
Oh,
And
It was
Jash
super fun.
for coming back to
Hey.
the channel all the way from Japan.
Thanks
you
for finally
making the
letting me.
flight. We appreciate that. Have a good flight home. Thank you for finally letting me. Wow. Okay. Like it was us. Okay, that's right. I just moved to another country. So let's run through real quick if we can all remember what our lists are in its entirety. Michelle, do you remember your list from start to finish?
Yeah, for 2-player only, I had Botnik. And for small box big game, I had Burgle Brothers. For card game, I had Jekyll versus Hyde. For thematic, I had Tiny Epic Zombies. And for my free-for-all, I picked Rove. Now, if I had honorable mentions, there would have been like a stack of Button Shy games.
Mhm.
However, the one that I would have mentioned but did not want to get yelled at for the size of the box
Uh-huh.
would have been Paris, La Cité de la Lumière.
Mm.
I have that on the way. I'm so excited about it.
Oh, it's such a good game.
I love
Love
this
it.
game. It's a small box because it was on one of our small box
Smaller
videos,
than
so
Final Girl, for
that means
sure.
it counts.
It was
It's beautiful, like 2-layer puzzle where you build out the cobblestones and then you put polyomino tiles on top of it. The production is amazing. All these components are really high quality, and it's a mean little
it's
puzzling
mean.
2-player game.
Hmm.
So good, so good. But it is like Targi sized.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought it was, Target size. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
smaller than
Yeah.
Final Girl. Yeah. All right. Billy, do you happen to recall all 5 of your picks?
Dead silence.
I might not remember mine either.
I think
If I look at the
Jaipur.
categories, I got mine.
All right, so for 2-player only, I had Jaipur. For small box big game, I had Ticket to Ride New York.
Oh, yeah.
For card game, I had Fox in the Forest. For thematic, I had Tournament at Camelot. And for free for all, I had Can't Be Creatures, I think.
Yes, you did. Any
Yes.
honorable mentions you want to toss in here at the end?
Also Paris.
Okay. Okay.
And that's fair because it's not like a stolen thing.
No, we
That's
can have
true.
it.
Yeah.
All right, Doolin.
All right. Mine was Air, Land, and Sea Critters at War for my 2-player game. Tiny Epic Dungeons for big game, small box. Shards of Infinity for my card game. I had Final Girl for my thematic pick. And then I had Similo for my free-for-all. And, I hate to be a broken record, but Set a Watch is...
I was surprised it
probably-
wasn't on there.
So this one, if you took Final Girl, just because Final Girl is so thematic, would have been my
Yeah, but
thematic
Set a Watch
choice.
is actually small.
Side by side, these boxes it's the same as size as Final Girl. It actually looks really, really cool to have them right beside each other. But Swords of the Coin specifically is the 2021 version of this game, and I think it's better. It adds a market, and again, one of the best games I've ever played, probably in my top 10 of all time. Really, really great. So, but one that I thought Max was going to pick was this.
It was.
I was surprised he
for
didn't.
sure.
And then this one as well. Like
That one
fantastic.
wasn't
That
in
was
my
on our
list.
list.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was in like consideration for the list, but it didn't get jotted down. Fuji Flush was an honorable mention for me.
Oh, Emily would be mad at me if I didn't mention that this game is also
you
fantastic.
got it. It's in.
We have
It is,
ours.
and it's great.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's necessarily small enough.
Yeah.
Definitely small enough. I think,
But
it's small enough for sure.
it's a great game. This is a roll and write, really, really thematic, really,
play
really
that.
fun.
It's
I
like
wanna play it. It's so
Wow.
good.
Riverside.
All right, Jash, round us off
All
with
right.
yours.
So my 2-player was Hive.
Pocket.
Then my small big game was Tiny Epic Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
My card game was Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. My thematic game was Please Fix the Teleporter.
Yeah.
And then my my free for all game was Fake Artist Goes to New York.
Great picks. Any honorable
So
mentions for you?
for my honorable mention, I have one. It's another Gamelin game, and this one is Tiny Epic Mechs. So it's a programmed movement skirmish game. But one of the reasons that I like it so much is the use of item meeples in this one.
I hear you talk about that all the time.
Yeah, the board presence, I love it because you start out as these characters and you have like these little weapons you can get.
You always forget where your camera is.
And then, well, it's because I look at you guys down here, but the camera is up here, and then I'm only seeing like the middle box. So then you get an upgraded power suit, so you can hold more
Wow.
weapons. But then in the middle of the board, everyone can fight over the like super power armor,
Oh.
and you literally take your meeple and put it in there.
Yeah, that's it.
And that just it's ever since I saw the like pictures of it before it came out, I was like, I need this.
That's
So
awesome.
it's just it's probably not even like the best Gamelin game, but it's just very cool to see.
It's like a
and to
toy
do all the little
factory,
stuff with
right?
it. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. For 2-player only game, I picked Targi, smaller than Final Girl. For small box big game, I picked Innovation. Card game, I picked Skull King. Thematic, Deep Sea Adventure. And free for all, I picked Biblios. I had 4 honorable mentions. Fuji Flush was one of them. You already talked about it for card game. For 2-player, it was either Radlands or Lord of the Rings, The Confrontation.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 picks there. For card game, it was Six Nymphed was the other recommendation, or No Thanks, but I know that Doolin hates that game for some reason.
No thanks.
And then Lord of the Rings Confrontation was also a slot in for thematic as well. I thought that could have fit nicely there. So Targi, Six Nymphed, Lord of the Rings Confrontation, and Fuji Flush were my 4 honorable recommendations.
Nice.
But honorable mentions, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, thank you, Jash. You need to go to bed. I need to go upstairs. Thank you, everybody. Michelle, Billy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Check out their channel
Super fun.
already. And I think they're going to do some coverage on other small box games in the past month and in the future. So they're definitely more qualified on that subject than we are. Let us know down in the comments who you think won the draft. Obviously, Doolin is disqualified because of Final Girl, so don't worry about putting him down. Just put down either Jash, Michelle, Billie, or Max.
Really, Jash is the only one who should be
All right,
disqualified.
see you guys later.
Not a
Bye.
That was a bad.
Anyways.
I'm curious why you thought I should be disqualified.
Because Hive was a bag.
Oh,
sorry, Doolin. What
It
happened?
wasn't even a box.
This goes right back into what he was doing.